it started in 1975. First job was industrial engineer.
Present, he's a director at FM Global Advisory Services Private Limited.
Go running, escaping everywhere. Finally, it will come to one corner. Some money from different countries with the loan. Give us a loan or a grant. Grant is given by rating of some compressor from 75 horsepower to 15 horsepower.
Hello everyone, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by World Development Corporation. I am esteemed, uncovering some great achievements and contributions of unsung heroes inspiring others. We have the privilege of discussing the career journey of Mr. Ramaswamy Balasubramanian and learning how success follows when passion is fused with pursuits. At present, he's a director at FM Global Advisory Services Private Limited, as well as the managing director of Landmaster Project Weblinks Private Limited. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Ramaswamy.
You're welcome. Nice being with you in this session.
Likewise, cannot wait to know more about you and your journey. So let's quickly get started.
Sure.
Mr. Balasubramanian, you are giving your invaluable services to FM Global Advisory Services Private Limited. For about 2 years, you had a dual role as COO at Fox Mandal and Associates. Definitely, there's a lot under the surface of such roles. Could you please let us know more about it?
Oh yes, it's quite interesting, and there is a background to that.
Yeah.
Before this role in Fox Mandal, I was also in another service firm and donned many hats. I was a board of operations member, then COO of one company, then heading project management, heading HR, then heading admin, then setting up the entire infrastructure across the cities for all new offices, then setting up project sites, mobilizing the sites, etc.
Yeah.
So which I had told our chairman here in Fox Mandal, and he took it on. He kept it in his head for some time. Then suddenly one fine morning, we learned that our head of HR had resigned, and within the next few days, the deputy HR also resigned.
Okay.
So our chairman didn't bat an eyelid. He just called me, said, "You take over, man. Do what is required to be done." And seamlessly we took over. I had one person, and then we set up all the processes and what is to be done, streamlined so many operations, made it smooth. And then COVID hit. So once COVID hit, I was interacting with the chairman every day for quite some time, 3-4 hours a day kind of stuff. Then generally we are back to the wall. So during conversations, sometime it came, that I was not trying to advise him because I was getting the advisory that time. Then we took over the HR. Then he said, we need to do something, we are fighting with the back to the wall.
Yeah.
So I told him, look, what he should do. If I tell you something, just consider it. I'll just put up something. You should not think on how to survive. You should think of how to grow. Survival means you're afraid of going down. Growing means you're going up. So think of growing. Then he said, are you serious? I said, I'm very serious. And there is a very standard saying which I give to people, saying that when you are up against the wall, when you're back to the wall, do something audacious. It's just like the cat. If you chase a cat, it will go running, escaping everywhere. Finally, it will come to one corner. And there you corner it, it will attack you. I said, it is the same situation here. You're back to the wall, so do something audacious. I said, I'm not just joking. We were in the same situation in my previous organization, where after 20 years in a service firm doing project management plus strategic advice, we were stagnating. So we said, what are this? We are not growing, and somewhere we were stuck. So we asked some of the stalwarts in the industry and big names, national level names. So they told us, form a small team and think it through yourself, then come back. But they gave one tip, saying that go for some goals which are audacious. What they call BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. Got our teams together and said, what the hell we can do about these big goals and everything. And so then our managing director, he opened up, saying that, hey guys, why are you thinking small? Let's think big. He said, we are 150 crores now. is 3 digits. Just cross the 3 digits. Let's think for 4 digits. Go to 1,000 crores in 5 years, which is 7 times.
Yeah.
So we said, pagal like something, this guy is what is just blabbering, is it possible? And we're a service firm, how are you going to do this? So then we went back and told this guy, he said, this is how we should think. Now they said, you put together a team of 10, 12 people together, go together and work on this, detail it out and get going. Whenever you need, come back to us for advice, but do it yourself.
Yeah.
So we did that thing, exercise, and in between came 2 years of recession. So this 150 crores to 1,000 plus crores, we didn't do in 5 years, but we did that in 7 years. So that had given a confidence saying that, this thing can be done. So I narrated this entire story to my chairman. Told him, look, service company is fine, but unless you think that you should grow and start working on that, that doesn't happen. You have to make it happen.
Correct.
So then he said, I told him one more thing, like unlike the manufacturing industry, the service industry is all about people. And if you want to grow, there are basically only 2 things you have to do. Like one is the capacity building. That is the number of people, how many you should have, all those things. Second, capability building. You have to make the people competent and, skilled, etc. to do what you are planning. Below this, everything, fits in there. You have a system, processes, and whatever you need to do. All those things fit into that, which what we have to work those details. So next 2 years, till COVID ended, we worked on the underlying requirements, metrics, who should do what, where to expand, what should we do, etc., all those things, what types we need to have, what tools we need to have, what organization we should have, the entire thing we put together. After that, chairman said, I will pilot this, don't worry, because I have to take it across to all the vertical head or partners. And I know this, I'm a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. My chairman is a lawyer. So he said, I know the business better, I've run it for so many years. It's a 30-year-old law firm, 125-year-old law firm. So I know the innards of the whole thing. So let me work on this and thanks very much. And if anything is required, I'll come back to you. So I stepped back into my old role of heading the advisory, which I'm continuing to do. And chairman went ahead and he took everybody on board. So had the buy-in from the partners. And all of them, what we did is we brought the concept of intrapreneurs, like making the entrepreneurs within the organization. So everybody, or all the heads, all the partners were given full freedom to go and do what they like, but meeting the goals. To meet the goals, you go your own way. Each person cannot do exactly what the other person does. So you have your own way of pick up your team, promote whoever you want, slide policy tweak, everything we said you do those things, and then we will take it from there, and it's worked very well. So last 3 years, I think we have really grown quite well, more than organic. So that is the good story behind this, is that this whole thing comes out of a thinking that you should grow and you should act. So once you are in any kind of place where you're back to the wall, you should never give up.
Yeah.
So that is the role which I played. It was 2 years just putting it together and then step back, and people are taking it forward. It's going fairly well.
Super amazing. I think we've started the session with such a great advice that it's so important to have a growth mindset. Thank you for sharing that. Let's quickly also move on to the other responsibility that you oversee, which is that Landmaster Project Weblinks. You've played pioneering roles over there, and it would be great if you could list them out and tell us how you spearheaded them.
Landmaster actually is my own company, which I founded in 2012. And there is got a small history behind that. Like my father was the old timer, 30s, 40s kind of days, and he passed out as ACA, ACS, ACWA during British times. So it was called something else, FCSS, etc. And then he was the head of finance in a very profitable shipping company. And those days, they will not adjust the account even for 50 paise. If there is a 1 rupee or 70 paise shortfall in the balance sheet, he will break his head. He will pray to Tirupati Balaji saying that I'll come there. Please let me get his balance sheet. They will not manipulate that. They're very strict on that. So he said, this is a headache job, doing the accountants and the bookkeeping and all. So you don't become a background like me,
Yeah.
become an engineer, you start a factory and, you get German machines and export. Soon after started a factory, then, went into a small scale, then the medium scale factory. I was one of the first persons to start the PET bottle factory in India, along with
Oh.
Pulpet. Yeah. Two of us started. And
Yeah.
there also I had made one small invention there, which I'll come to a little later. One of the sick companies nursed that back within 1 year, brought it for an operation turnaround. Then parent got old. So I had to look after them and stepped back, came back to corporations and did those, project jobs and everything there. And learned a lot of the bargain. Then when parent passed away, started this next thing, which is Landmaster. So by that time, a lot of changes have taken place. I've seen the transition because I was just post-independence, birth, 1952. So we saw the entire transitions from one era to another era, and then into the e-commerce era. So 2010 onward, the e-commerce hit India, and the bug caught me also. So I was specialized. I was from the construction industry background, project management, doing construction, etc. So there were many difficulties the construction industry faced. One of those was hiring equipment for construction at the sites. There are many issues there, which I knew, I was aware of those. So I said, let me build something for that industry. And I spoke to my friends and some of the larger corporations like Volvo. They said, boss, the industry is still where you left 20 years back. It's not changed at all. So still all the same issues are there. Do something about this. So what I did is, we had just gone into the era of, the GPS trackers. Ola, Uber and all came. So the way they located you was through a GPS tracker. They had a device which was fitted to the vehicle, and the vehicle, you know where the vehicle is. From your mobile, they know where you are. So I fitted the GPS tracker onto construction machinery and did more than just tracking. So I built an entire system of billing, then reminding the drivers, then see how long they are idling, how long they are working, any breakdown happens, all those things, which are the vehicles nearby, in case something goes wrong to get the next vehicle, and made it a app. And then we participated in the European satellite navigation contest. Came to the final stage. We should have got a 300,000 euro grant. Unfortunately, we made one single mistake, which somebody told us later afterwards. We needed the 80 marks for getting the grant. We scored 72 or 73. Later, one Indian gentleman called me from Estonia. He said, "Saab, aapne ek galti kar diya. One mistake you made." I said, "What is it?" He said, "You should have registered from here.
Sorry?
You should have registered your product from Estonia, not from India, Bangalore."
Okay.
Because when they evaluate, automatically the Europeans will lower mark for the Asian people, Asian entries. European entries get more marks. Your thing was very good, but unfortunately, marking was not as good as it should be. Next time you do it from here, I will register you from Estonia itself. So then it was over. When it was over, we had 2 or 3 very major regulatory changes. The RERA came, then GST came, the NCLT, the Chip Company Act came, and the construction industry was grappling with that. And then COVID hit us. When COVID hit, everything stopped. So then meantime, I was with Fox Mandal in between. And then when we got out of this thing, I did not close the company, I kept it. Then I decided it is too much of an effort, again raise funds, and after having lost whatever we had put. Coming back to that, again you have to get in the resume. I said, let us park it. And then I realized that I had pitched to more than 20 venture capitalists. Roughly, I had also raised money from angels. So I knew how the investors think.
Yeah.
What mistakes I made. Once, twice, thrice an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I said, let me put this together and bring up other entrepreneurs. Then together the growth stage guys, because all of them make the same mistake.
Correct.
So which I found. Then I helped one of the growth stage, manufacturing unit, which is doing great job.
Okay.
Applying to defense. I can't even tell you what they're making because it's confidential, army stuff.
So all of this you've done under Landmaster.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that actually, I'm not an employee here. I'm not an employee in
Yeah.
FM Advisory. I'm heading the thing on a revenue sharing basis.
Understood.
I don't take salary from here.
Hmm.
So I had the freedom. So raise first 20 crores for one of the units there, and they are just growing now. So similarly, I'm also trying to help in healthcare unit to raise some funds for them, plus now in the growth phase. So set them up. So what I do here is that trying to make them think that you are going for an IPO in next 3 years, because it needs several steps which are definite.
I think you're again bringing back the growth mindset here also
Yeah,
in these with these
yeah.
companies as well. Yeah.
So I tell them, please think that you are going for an SME IPO, small
Hmm.
medium enterprise IPO with a premium. So build your, offering as well as your governance, papers, documents, everything in that same fashion, which make it compatible for going in for an IPO. And it's not easy because entrepreneurs, they work on as they like, but many of them are not compliant with the regulations.
Yeah.
But slowly they realizing that. So eventually, what happened? We should be preparing the unit, the offering, and the entrepreneur to be ready for getting investment, attracting investments.
Correct.
Otherwise, what happens? The investor thinks in their own manner. See, there's a very basic thing which I'm advocating to people, that till you hit the funds, till somebody puts in 10, 20 crores in you, you are an entrepreneur. You have bootstrap, borrowed money from friends, everybody, angels and everything.
Hmm.
Brought some, you did what you did and this thing. So there is a role, then you're passionate about your development, you do that. But once a big investor comes, 20 crores, 15 crores, etc., your role has to change from entrepreneur to a businessman. Main job is to make money for the investors. Okay. So you have to think business, not just my development, my product, technical and everything. That you should delegate. But see it going on. But you have to make money for your investors. Then only they'll put more money. Why are they investing in the first place? To make money. Unless you make money for them, they'll pull out the money. You won't have it to give it back.
Absolutely.
That thinking we are bringing into them.
Hmm.
People are realizing that I simply can't take money and say, okay, paisa aa gaya, everything is good. No, it is not starting. The starting point is when the money hits you. You have to become a businessman, grow their money, attract more money, and grow more. This is business cycle.
Yeah.
So getting into that, and people are slowly understanding that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
typically, they make other mistakes of not estimating how much money is required, what they will do, how will they acquire
Correct.
the market, etc. All those things they are doing. When you make a projection, next 5 years, 6 years, etc., all the costs that you project will happen as per the projection. But the revenue doesn't happen as per projection. That is where the problem starts. Once you realize that, they know that, okay, I have to focus on revenue. Cost will happen anyway. So many people and so much rent and so much electricity will take place. But
Yeah.
revenue is more difficult. So focus on that. That's the overall thing there. That's going on well. And I'm mentoring one of these healthcare guys who's on a social impact basis. That's coming up quite well.
Very nice. It's very, I mean, absolutely valid because I feel as new entrepreneurs, they're more focused on the product, and in that they get blindsided and they don't think about the profitability. But so it's
Yes.
very important to think about the bottom line also because, like you rightly said, in order
Yeah.
to keep growing and to keep the investors intact, you have to focus
Yes.
on your profits.
Yes.
Very interesting, and I have to say, Mr. Ramaswamy, unsurprisingly, a 4-decade-long experience offers such a strong skill set for all the firms and all the projects that you're investing your time into. It's really impressive. One of the most outstanding tasks that you've undertaken and have made massive achievements in is in reviewing the procurements for World Bank funded projects in 3 countries. If you could elaborate on the tasks and how did you manage to do it?
Yeah, that's another very good learning opportunity which I had, where World Bank works in a very structured manner. What happened is these guys are collecting money from different countries. They are sitting in Washington and they have to fund projects all across the world.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the scale of the job they have. Some money from different countries with the loan. Give us a loan or a grant. Grant is given by IMF and the World Bank gives the loans. And you have to recover it also. Huge amounts.
Yeah.
So what they have structured the whole thing into generally sort of small way to give that is 3 elements. One is program, second is project, third is contract. The program is where they have programs like education program, healthcare program, then poverty alleviation programs, and they send economists to each country. They decide how much to give to who requires most, etc. To allocate to the region, like African region or Asian region, etc. And then see what is most important. Like sometime back, Africa required healthcare more. And Asia needed, poverty alleviation more. So what they do, they see what are the projects. For example, if we take education program is there, the project can be building schools. But some places they have the schools, they don't have teachers. The project will be to train the teachers.
Correct.
So what they do is pre-intervention. They have, say, there are 100 educated people per 100,000 population, and we invest so much, and over the next 5 years, the numbers will increase from 100 to 750 per 100,000 thing. They again measure that. So then the impact is seen later on. So within this, there are two elements. One is once they configure the project, how much to invest, where to invest, what is the project? It is building the school or giving them blackboards or giving them book, training teachers, whatever it is. And then who will do it? Who will train the teachers? That's the contract. So 3-story kind of thing there, 3-story element there. So then somebody has to check this because these guys are sitting in Washington and believing what is being told to them. Okay, so it's quite tough. So they have an independent agency. Like my firm, they were doing the reviews. One is called the prior review. Second is called the post review.
Okay.
So prior reviews before they start the process. Here what happens is the entire, say suppose they are giving say 100 rupees, 40 rupees goes for the entire preparation. The economy is going there and figuring out what projects, how much, etc. Plus the consultants who design it, etc. Then people who review and everything, that costs about 40%.
Yeah.
60% is the actual spend. They give some good moratorium, some 20-year moratorium, 10-year moratorium, 5-year moratorium, repayment period from 20 years to 40 years, all those things. They design this whole thing there. The prior review will actually check up whether the due process has been followed, whether the estimates are correct. And third thing is the processes are correct or not. Because for the contracts, they have again 2 or 3 different types. Like they got what is called as the ICB, International Competitive Bidding. Then there is one more called the local competitive bidding for the local place. Then there's a national competitive bidding. Because different countries put money into the World Bank, they will also expect some order should come to us, some contract should come to us. So selecting them, they say, okay, everything above $5 million should go to international competitive bidding. Norms there are different. They set the norms. So this consultant set the norms. So the prior review, people like my company there at that time, we used to go and review whether they have followed these processes. Then again, for selecting consultants, there are different methods. Like they say QCBS, which is a quality and cost-based selection.
Yeah.
Least cost-based, like the different bases. So we will see whether they have applied this properly and everybody got a proper opportunity to bid. Local means very small thing, the local guys will do. There's no point in going for an international thing for a chota local thing.
Yeah.
So we see proper equity is maintained there. So then we had some very good experiences there. Once we went for a post review to Russia, Moscow. So there was some malpractice there. They could not find out. So our team of 4 or 5 people went there. So we found out what are the malpractice. So we were very, chest thumping. Oh, we found it. No, nobody could find it, etc. We went and told everybody that we found what are the malpractice. And quietly, one Russian guy came after lunch. He said, "Guys, you made a big mistake. You shouldn't have tom-tom this. You should have kept quiet." He said, "Why?" He said, "This is the order being supplied to mafia of Russia.
Oh.
You guys better go rush
Wow.
to your hotel, get out of the hotel where you're staying, and don't tell anybody where you're staying, and go to some outskirts."
Yeah.
So from central Moscow, we ran, 3 of us. We took our baggage,
Yeah.
ran to the faraway place, 30 kilometers away, called Ismailovsky, which has had there is a 5,000 room hotel with 3 blocks, and they had armed guards there. So we checked into 3 different blocks. We didn't stay together. And it also had a metro right at the entrance. So we used to go in the next morning at different time, not at the same time, because they are looking for 3 Indians.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
other hotel we had, we left something behind, so we checked with him. He said, "Sir, you or something like that, you forget it. Don't come here to collect your towels and all, whatever you left behind, because Some guys, rough-looking guys, came and after 3 Indians where they went. So,
An adventure that you were on. Yeah.
so that was a very interesting experience.
Yeah.
Some very good experience in Nigeria and Eritrea and all those things there. So it was very interesting kind of a new learning for me on the that systematic way of that's called public procurement. What it
Mm.
involves, like government procure, it's not same as
Correct.
what you buy for a company.
Correct.
That was a very good experience what I got there.
Mm. I'm feeling so privileged, in learning about all your accomplishments and all the adventures that you've had throughout your career. Since you also now wish to add one more responsibility to your work purview, which is now of a directorship role, how are you planning to handling all of these responsibilities together?
See, I thought about this for some time.
Yeah,
What's happening is actually I have got a way of working.
yeah,
So here for the consultancy advisory part, we have got subject matter experts.
yeah,
So we can't do everything. We can't also have a big bench of people with all kind of knowledge. So each project is different. We got a very small team only, and then we got subject matter experts empaneled with us.
mm,
So what I do is I follow a very simple system that I give a very thorough briefing. We have a full discussion of the project, what is the outcome, how we should go about, what are the processes, how long it should take, what are the reporting mechanisms, whole lot of things.
mm,
Once that is done, there are only two things for which people could come to me.
mm,
One is for an action, other is for a decision. Action is suppose he said, I'm saying I want to talk to the Infosys director, I'm not able to get him. Can you please help? I'll pick up the phone and call him. I said, okay, please, somebody needs, can you please put him across to the right person? That action I will take. Or somebody says, I need to go visit some place, so please approve so much for my thing. I'll approve that action. Second thing is decision. What decision to take, because you will be examining various options of what you should do. So I tell them, please give me the options you have, and you are thinking of what you think is the best in your judgment. But you're not sure what are the best, so you come to me. I will take a look at that. I'll give you my thing, saying I prefer this. Only these two things, nothing else. So that's working quite well.
mm.
So second part is that I'm not an employee here.
Correct.
So I have got that
Time.
flexibility with the timing there. And third thing is that I will not be taking too many assignments. I'll take only one assignment of the independent director, preferably in the manufacturing unit, because that is the underpinning strength, or maybe a construction industry.
Yeah.
I won't go to IT and all because it's not my area of strength. So that is one. And then also the same way mentoring startups, I'll mentor only one startup, which I'm doing now. I'm not taking one more is coming in a big one, but I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
So we keep a limited engagement to that, because once you undertake something, you got a commitment and the responsibility to deliver your
Correct.
best.
Correct.
You want to deliver your best, you cannot spread yourself thin.
Yeah.
This is what I have in mind. Only one position I will take.
No, I think you've thought it out very well, and I want to wish you all the best for this.
Thanks
Uh,
so much.
Given your history, I have no doubts in mind that you will be able to ace this role as well to
Thanks so
perfection.
much.
In your new position, then you will be involved in ESG also, and this involves dealing with environmental compliances and social inclusion day in and day out. So, have you developed an interest in this field because you saw a need for ESG implementation in any of your work functions? Where did the interest arise from?
No, actually, it started in 1975. I
Oh,
finished my engineering, came out. My first job was industrial engineer.
yeah,
So industrial engineer does three, four things. One is the process improvements, time study, method study, and then cost reduction.
yeah,
So it began long back,
yeah.
and there are many cases where I have done a lot of work already,
Mm,
like reducing the rating of some compressor from 75 horsepower to 15 horsepower, because I do not go by thumb rules. Because many people go by thumb rules blindly. Okay, this much, this much. Mostly, what happens if you go to nitty-gritties and work it out, you will find good solutions there. So similarly, I was telling you about the PET bottle. What happened there is when I started producing the bottles, high volume. In those days, for preventing the water bottle from leaking, they used to insert a cork in the inside of the cap. It is a flexible material, so it will prevent the leakage by When I ordered the cork, I was told that it will be 6 to 8 months for delivery.
Hmm.
So I sat down because I had taken a 1 crore venture capital in 1987.
Hmm.
And I said, this guy will kill me if we don't produce for 8 months.
Yeah.
Don't sell. So I said, let me eliminate this cork. So I got so angry.
Yeah.
Earlier, I used to be a mold maker. So I went to the first principles and figured out what is the function of the cap.
Yeah.
If that cork is not there, what can prevent the water from leakage? So I found that out in 2 days.
What is that?
Bought a bottle, you can open and see. There's a ring inside it.
Yeah.
The ring is my invention.
Mm.
I didn't patent it, unfortunately. World copied it in 3 months.
Oh, so it was you who came up with that
Yeah,
idea?
1988. My design. This cork is not there. Cork is gone. But
Correct.
again, a saving. It's a material.
Correct.
Creative material saving. It's just a very small ring inside that cap.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You open and see that ring is my invention.
The ring stays inside the bottle and the cap comes
Yeah,
out.
cap. No. That's a different thing. That's the bottom one is the sealing ring.
Correct.
Inside the cap, when you open the cap, inside you will find a ring. Inside the cap.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Put your finger, you can feel it into the cap. So that is in my invention. It prevents the leakage. That copied all over the world in 3-4 months that time, 88. And like that, many
You
other
got
things.
patented then, back then.
Old days, we engineers are idiots. But when I would have done first thing was a patent. I was so thrilled, I solved the problem. I went on manufacturing. They came to inspect the
Yeah.
machine. He asked me where the cork. I said, no cork, this ring is enough. He took samples to Japan and everybody copied it.
Oh no. Hmm.
So similarly, many other water saving and some other this thing, tire industry, I was making equipment for them. So there also design changes, all those things, reduction of materials, everything. So that's been going on forever, long time back. And even in FM Advisory also, global advisory now, we are actually into ESG. That is EPR, the extended producer responsibility, something we are doing now.
Yeah.
Giving the registration plus the plan for them, plus getting them the credit, the recycling plants and everything there, they get the credit for that. Plus advisory on some of the other aspects, what they should do, how they should do. The E part, that is more of engineering. So
Yeah.
that's more tangible. Where the S part is the social part and the G part, governance part, is intangible. And governance is more of, integrity of, and your honesty, responsibility there. Social is your empathy and sensitivity to people. Whereas the S part, the E part is absolutely technical. How do you bring down the cost? What do you do? It's a permanent thing. Once you do that, it's continuously keep going there. Many people have reduced the water consumption,
Correct.
the electricity consumption. So I was specialized in reducing the air conditioning load.
Hmm.
So that it happened just by reflex for me. I don't know to even think. So there again, I'm looking at the independent director manufacturing unit. So there's all the scope for reductions are very interesting to me. So that is the thing. Plus building that advisory business over here.
Yeah.
ESG is going to be a mainstay for me.
Correct. 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 Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ramaswamy. We've had so much to learn from you. You've chosen the services of Directors Institute for your boardroom transition. How has your overall experience been so far?
See, so far, I have almost come to some 87, 88% of the ESG lessons. The live sessions of 10 corporate thing that is done last Saturday. And I think ESG session, the 8 are over, now 2 are left. So there's a lot of material to read. Actually, what happens to absorb this, it needs reading and rereading and understanding. It is not just whether once you read it's over.
Correct.
You have to internalize it. If, for example, some of these principles, they have given 9 principles, in national guideline for responsible business conduct. After you read the BRSR reports of 4 companies, only in the 5th company you start understanding what it's all about. They have indicators and all those things. You understand what they are.
Yeah.
So then you have to practice. I think once we'll also do that for somebody, ourselves, do that.
Correct.
And mainly, I think the other 2 parts I'm familiar with ESG plus the governance part also because I've been on boards. What interests me is a totally fresh thing in the digital part. it's coming out very nicely, very beautifully. I've done initial 20% part of it. So I think I'll take at least another month and a half to complete it. But I believe there is no time frame limit because we have to do it properly. Because you are responsible to translate that into action in the companies if you get an opportunity. So overall, the course laid out is quite fine. Digital, I don't know, I have yet to go through that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the attention we are getting and the steps being taken, they are quite in order. It's quite good. I also recommended this to one of my friends who's in his 50s. He's a CEO of a company, so he is also coming in to join. I told him it's very well laid out, very well properly structured scheme, and then you are getting continuous attention. People are coming back to you. It's not that something is given to you and then you've forgotten it. It's not that continuously somebody is interacting, going on.
Correct.
That guy is joining. I think next batch will be joining.
No, this is great to know. And all the best to you. Thank you for the feedback. And all the best to you for the remainder of your course. And like you rightly said, the more we practice, the more we absorb, the more we implement it better.
True.
So I must say the conversation has turned out to be very, very fulfilling, and our viewers must have a lot to take back from it. I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much.
Thank you.
All the best. Have a nice evening.
You too.